All right, you guys are live on the Facebookies and the Twitteries and the YouTubies and the Twitches and the Facebook group.
The Twitchies?
The Twitchies.
The Twitchies.
I have to scratch my back.
Well, then scratch your fucking back.
I'll wait till I'm not on camera.
Fucking. Why don't you get Rita to do it?
Oh my God, Rita. My God, that chicken is so hardcore. For that story, you need to listen to Soundcheck.
Yep, exactly.
All right, I'm all ready.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Are we going to wait for anybody to jump on this go around? Or are
We already have people already on.
Oh, no shit. How about
yeah.
that? Thank you for staying up for us, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Graham had himself a complicated day today.
Them
To say the least.
80,000 SKUs are killing the live stream.
No shit.
Yeah.
It was really end of month plus working ahead for the home inspection.
Yeah,
That was the key.
That's say for as you do not know, Mr. Graham is they've made an offer on a house. They've got the home inspection to do tomorrow, so
yep.
he needed to
the
add
offer
to
got
his
accepted.
day.
Hello.
Right,
The offer got accepted.
right.
So we have to move forward within 10 days
With the inspection.
with
and
the
everything.
inspection. Yeah. So that's why it's all like the worst part is it takes 45 days to close. Mm-hmm. But it's like everything's got to be done in 12 days.
Yeah, got to be done quick.
Like contract, acceptance
Right.
of contract, blah, 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 blah. It's just like, it's like rush. All right, good. Now we can take a month break.
Right.
Why? What the fuck are we doing?
Might as well just fucking sign the fucking
Yeah,
papers. Give me the fucking
annoying.
keys. Let's call it a fucking day.
It's killing me.
Yeah, too fucking funny.
Yep. So hopefully, knock on wood, nothing. I didn't jinx anything.
All right. Well then, let's.
Oh, yeah, because then you'll be, what is it? What did we say? 15, 12 minutes?
14 minutes from the DU Public House Studios.
No,
right.
there's the back roads. They didn't even map out the back roads because if I'm going to Katie's house, her old house, from here, I'd pass Ferry Farm Road.
Yeah, exactly.
Dairy Farm Road.
That's the one. And you cut through these back roads, and it cuts right between where the Wawa and the Royal Farms is.
Yeah.
And then go straight that way, and you're right there, and you avoid 32, you avoid 3, you avoid 97.
Less than even 14, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So with
Wow.
no traffic, Carly pinned it, or you pinned it.
No, Carly did.
Oh, Carly
Carly
definitely pinned it.
Carly pinned it. With no traffic, the fastest way was for me to go up the one street off of 175 that I told you.
Yeah.
Ferry Farm Road.
No, the other one. I have to take that to get out of my neighborhood.
Right.
Then 175. Then it was it goes on to 32. That's the
Burns
connector.
Crossing.
Burns Crossing.
Right.
That's the one.
My sister lived right off of Burns Crossing.
Yeah, so Burns Crossing to 32 to 97 to here. So late at night with no traffic, that's apparently the fastest way.
Okay.
By the way,
Supposedly.
Christian is watching from the hospital.
Hey, bud.
Taylor is also watching.
Okay.
So
From condition unknown.
I guess it's the meeting of the Heart Society right now.
For fuck's sake. We figured out already that Sam's was a dental problem.
Exactly.
God, Christian, you scare me, honey.
Christian, no pinching nurses' asses. Okay, that's frowned upon nowadays. You're not allowed to do that
Working on a
anymore.
jerk over the bottle of
Yeah.
jerking. That's the old Eminem line. This is when I'm 80 in the nursing home flirting, pinching nurses' asses. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's the real Slim Shady, that.
Yes, I know. Very good.
It's a throwback for the kids.
All right, we ready to do a show then?
Oh, God, we haven't even started the show. We're how many minutes into the live stream? Oh, look at that.
That's fine.
That's okay. When
this
we
is
start,
honestly the best I could hope for anyway.
when we start this show, somebody's pee-pee's gonna move. It's gonna be great. So
Whose is it going to be? Stay tuned in to find out.
Good Lord.
Hey, Graham. I know you ordered Ray Parler, Middlesboro legend, but you got Taylor Thompson, P1 legend. You are listening to the DU Football Show.
there you go. There's your
It's not
answer.
even
Somebody's
funny.
pee-pee moved.
Yours, because it's your friend.
No, Taylor's moved. 'cause
No,
we
it's
played
not my
him.
friend. His football team fucked me. His
Yeah.
basketball team fucked me.
Yeah.
And he just made fun of me.
Are you feeling very meta right now, Taylor? I bet you are. Actually, just a little meta. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Drunkard United! Drunkard United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League that didn't play because it was the international break, as told by two common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, the fierce Samuel Graham.
I am fierce.
You are just the fiercest
You know who
bitch.
else is fierce?
Who?
Fucking Rodri, but in a bad way. I have got to get this off my chest. Cunt of the week, a little early.
Oh, yeah? Go for it.
Rodri, you could see the wheels turning when Spain paid Norway. When Spain played Norway,
The rain in
Odegaard.
Spain lands mostly on the plane.
The rain in Spain. I know that musical. Thank you. That's an Andrew Lloyd Webber, isn't it?
No, that's a Hammerstein. Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Damn. I knew what it was, though.
Who knows their show tunes better, Sam or Sam? We're kicking off this international break without shit to talk about. Strong!
It was yeah, obviously a slow news week.
Thunder!
Yeah. And both of us, you know who knows them worse is who knows them averagely at best better.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
both of us looked at Mel and she was like, said no to me and then shook her head yes to you.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it is definitely Hammerstein.
Hey,
All right.
gotta let the theater major tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Guess who it wasn't? Bill Kenwright. So Odegaard picked up the ball in the Spain box. Do a little dance, make a little love.
Christian wants to let you guys know it's Lerner and Lowe. It's My Fair Lady Bitches.
Not Rodgers. Okay, very good. Lerner and Lowe. I mean, he is the music guy. So yes, we have to give it to him.
That would be
music?
Dr. Twombly right
Yeah,
there.
doctor. Sorry,
Musical
doctor.
guy?
He's a doctor in music.
Okay, I guess you could consider musicals music. I don't know that I'd... I don't look at The Greatest Showman and go, that is the greatest album ever written. Okay?
All right, go for it there, stud. Keep
Anyway,
going.
Odegaard was in the... I couldn't think about it.
I'm sorry, correction. That was Taylor, not Dr. Twombly. Dr. Twombly goes, I don't know shit about musicals.
So, Odegaard gets in the box, and for all the music doctors out there, he was making a little, doing a little dance, making a little love, trying to get down tonight. And Rodri, and you could see the cogs turning, going, "Hold on, I have an opportunity here." And he put in a horrendous tackle that wasn't even called a foul, should have been a red card.
Wow.
So no penalty, no nothing. Holland was out with injury, and by all accounts, I didn't see the game, but I did see this highlight. Norway should have won the game.
Oh, really?
But it turned, if they had a center forward, they had the chances to win the game. But they didn't have a center forward. Spain ended up ultimately winning. But Rodri definitely tried to injure Martin Odegaard, obviously being a player for Spain and Manchester City specifically, and Odegaard being one of Arsenal's best players this season. He tried to take him out on international break on purpose, and it very much showed.
Wow. That's
Cunt of the
fucked up.
week.
There you go. Very good.
All right.
We're accredited to you, Public House, just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with your footballing friends. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. As usual, it is at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. But make sure, please, that you get on the DU closed group on Facebook. That's Drunkard United FC, spelled out, Drunkard United FC. That's where the bands happen, and that's the best place to get in touch with us at all times, really.
I mean, that's... One would say, like, that Bants is what is new and young and fresh. But,
Hashtag Bants.
But clearly, it's not. It's whatever producer Mel does, because that's what's popping off.
That's right. Hashtag beekeeping.
Hashtag be a trendsetter.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry, both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. The other hard as fuck bottle, expensive as fuck bottle to get.
Yep.
We are on to tonight, and I want to give a big shout out to my former compatriot. She has moved on to another career, Jillian, who was so kind to find this for us in Texas and at SRP. Mr. Graham, take her away.
All right, we got a special one here. This is very, very good. This comes to you at number 6. This is the Middleton Very Rare 2022 edition, straight up 80 proof. Should run you $200. Gonna run you a lot more than that from our experience, really, because this one doesn't exist anymore. Its panel rating is 94 from the Whiskey Advocate Tasting Group. It is a blended Irish whiskey from the most famous Irish distillery that exists, the Middleton Distillery. Exuberant, and I'm sorry, I should probably mention that Johnny McCormick wrote the blurb from the tasting panel. Sorry about that. Exuberant and irresistible, this year's release by master distiller Kevin O'Gorman was deftly stylish, a composition of carefully selected stocks of single pot still and single grain whiskeys aged between 12 and 33 years. Each vintage in this series, which launched in 1984, has its own unique flavor profile and comes from the pick of the American oak bourbon casks in the Middleton warehouses. Rick houses. The sweeter grain components shine beautifully here, with flourishes of floral, honey, and toasted oak aromas against a captivating backdrop of fresh fruit, citrus, and wood spice flavors, and an elongated finish of creamy vanilla. The vanilla's absolutely there, and I get a nice baking spice just before that vanilla kicks in that is like reminds me of cookies, and it's fucking delicious.
So for everybody who does not know, because I think you're kind of used to blends and single malts kind of dominating. And when we did 2 years ago, when we did our Patreon series where we did our liquor classes that we had done. So
over the summer that was.
Right. That was about 2 years ago. So for people who are newer to our Patreon, you can go back and listen to the whole back catalog. There's me doing my 100 favorite songs. There's us doing 5 shows about alcohol specifically. So a lot of fun things back there to find. Irish whiskey has 4 major categories. We've already mentioned single malts. We've already mentioned blends. The others would be a pot still. A pot still is, simply put, has to be made in a copper pot still, and it has to be a minimum of 70% barley. Outside of that, it could have any other cut grain, which leads us to my next one, a grain whiskey. A grain whiskey is typically corn, sometimes wheat, but typically corn, and is done in a continuous still. So that's what they're blending, are those kind of whiskeys. I'm surprised such the low alcohol by volume. It's only 40%, so that makes it an 80 proof. 90 is kind of industry standard anymore. But also considering that these are, you said 12 to 25, was it?
11 to 33.
11 to 30. So there's just, you're going to lose some alcohol by volume on this. It's fucking incredible. I mean,
it's fucking delicious.
It's absolutely
it comes
incredible.
with a little hotel key card, because if you drink too much of it, it'll take you home. This is fucking delicious. This part of your price point, obviously, as well, besides the aged whiskeys, is this gorgeous box it comes in.
Yep.
Which is always, you know, just for a showpiece, always a plus. But it's fucking good. It is fucking good.
There's still one more Irish whiskey on this list. It better blow us the fuck away.
I know, I was gonna say, I'm surprised this is only number 6.
Yeah.
I mean, you think it was at least better than, you know, one of the top 5.
No, fuck. I was gonna say, knowing what we know, I'm fucking honored.
I'm just fucking with you.
But
I sell your whiskey.
I know, exactly. You dick.
Just being a dick.
Yeah, but this is, if Irish whiskey had a unicorn bottle, Middleton is typically that unicorn bottle.
For sure. No one pays the money anymore, especially for Irish. When you have very good brands like Jameson and Tullamore Dew, a lot of people don't pay for the high marks of Irish whiskey anymore.
No, they don't.
We did back in the day, me, you, and Stick. Do you remember that? We
Rarest Vintage, which would have been, I would say, the other unicorn bottle. If there's a unicorn bottle of Irish whiskey, those are it. This wasn't even ever available in this market.
Yep.
We got it in Texas. Somebody got it for us in fucking Texas.
It's fucking delicious.
People in New York couldn't find it for me.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It's fucking remarkable. Now,
it's such a good whiskey.
If we were going to give a critique, Middleton's is always fantastic. Did it really need to be on this list at $250 a bottle?
No.
You know, it
200 is the expected or suggested retail price, rather, the MSRP.
Yeah,
but the no, I mean, I if this was on a shelf for $160, I'd buy a bottle once a year.
Yeah,
at $200, that'd be a stretch. Mm-hmm. At $250 that we actually got it for,
yeah. Was this worth the $250 we paid? Absolutely,
100%.
It was,
but it's just too much for a bottle of whiskey,
right? And it's if you're lucky enough to be at our whiskey tasting, make sure you pour yourself a glass of this because it's fucking delightful. I'm not even giving it a cube. I don't even. How did the cube affect yours?
It's a little less grainy up front. Because I do get a bit of cereal grain up front, like really
absolutely.
on the palate.
Barley, that's going to always happen with barley.
But it does give way to most of that description.
Corn. You can tell that this is the single grain is corn, and it's sweet. This has got a very bourbon-esque quality to it.
The cube mellowed that cereal grain a little bit and allowed the flavor profile to stand out just a little bit more. But I wouldn't water it down. I mean, this is a 2 cube max, like regular standard size ice cube max. Yeah, for me.
Very fair. All right, so what else do we got to do, Mr. Graham?
Always remember to drink responsibly and within budget.
Do you need more, Producer Mel? Because hers is already gone. Hey, that was a fairly decent clink for us this time.
I tried.
Would you like more, Producer Mel?
A little bit.
All right, Actually, I can do 2 things at once. All right.
Yes, you're the professional and all that shit you always say to us all the time.
Come on, let's see you talk and dance, monkey.
Professionally suck my dick, because that's what you do professionally.
Professionally. Wow.
It comes to no surprise that after Conte's little conference,
I thought he was still talking to me.
that Tottenham and Mr. Conte parted ways. What's hard to believe is that it was a mutual agreement.
Well, the thing that's wild about it too, the only person from his backroom staff that's left Tottenham, I don't know if you saw this, was his brother.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody else
Stellini, his number 2, stayed on. He's caretaker for the rest of the year.
That's what I just had listed here was Stellini and Mason are handling for the rest of the season.
My point to that, though, is has Conte completely lost the plot? Has he driven away everyone so badly that even his own coaching staff that he has taken with him club to club has said, fuck off, man?
Yeah.
You know?
Or is it Stellini, Conte goes, stick around, get the paycheck. You know? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I doubt this was a mutual consent thing. The only thing that was mutual about it is Conte knew what he was doing when he said it.
He wanted to leave. He still wants to. He's happy. He's the happiest pig in shit right now.
Yeah, because he's also getting paid. That's the other key thing, too. He's getting paid for the rest of the fucking contract.
Correct.
Which is only till the end of the season, but he's still getting paid till the rest of the end of his fucking contract.
Right.
Will this affect their standing? Do you think they're still a championship?
They'll be better. Just like they were better when he was out with the appendix or gallbladder or whatever it was. Gallbladder. Phil Foden was appendix this past week. Conte was gallbladder.
Yeah.
Yes. They'll be better just like they were without it. The players weren't playing for him.
Right.
So Tottenham is in this weird spot, and I don't know what you think about this, but I thought about this today, and another a pundit on TalkSport said it. I think Daniel Levy was trying to prove a point with these last couple of appointments, right? So he still had the Pochettino, this is a project, blah, 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 blah. He hires Nuno, right? It's not going very well to begin with. The players don't seem to respect him.
Well, Mourinho before that.
Mourinho was before Nuno, wasn't it? So they had the new stadium, right?
They got him the big...
They had this. They had the Champions League final. So they go, you know what? We can attract the big manager that's ready to go. But Tottenham weren't there yet.
Right.
Mentally. They weren't ready to back that manager. They weren't ready to go for broke with that manager. And they didn't sign anyone hardly.
No.
And Mourinho got him to a League Cup final. Got fired that week, remember? Ryan Mason took over for the final. Mourinho, was floundering a bit in terms of the team, but the team weren't. Arsenal were in a bad spot 10 years ago. Right? People were comfortable. Fourth was good enough.
Right.
That was it. That's all we did. Yeah?
Yeah.
We weren't really challenging. We had the FA Cup because we took it seriously because it's a competition near and dear to our hearts.
Right. And you have the record.
Correct. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's so we take it seriously.
And in second place is your bitter rivals in Manchester United, and you'll be goddamned if they're going to win.
If they overtake us. That's why Sir Alex didn't retire when Liverpool, when City won that title, and he was tied with Liverpool still for all-time Premier League titles.
All-time top-flight titles.
Top-flight titles, I'm sorry. He wanted to go out on top, right? He wanted to be the one that overtook them.
Right.
So he stayed on for another season. He was going to retire, stayed on for another season, won it, then retired. Exactly. Yeah. So that plays a part, yeah. But Tottenham, as a club, don't have the mentality yet. Spursy is a thing. That's so Spursy. That's still a thing. They have not ticked over. And a past his prime Mourinho and a very obviously past his prime Conte aren't going to fix that. They need somebody that's willing to be a project manager, and that because they're going to have to bring through players from the academy. They're going to have to buy relatively inexpensive players because Daniel Levy won't loosen the purse strings and spend $100 million on a player.
Right.
Richarlison should have and could have still gotten better since leaving Everton, but he's regressed because Conte's not going to coach him.
Right.
Those coaches don't do that. They're not coaches. They're managers.
Yeah.
They put out tactics. You're supposed to fucking implement them.
Yeah. Do it. You're a professional. You know what to do. My job is to tinker with the lineup, is to handle the press, and you guys are to go out there and be fucking footballers.
Do you know who I think, honestly, I really do think would have been great, a great appointment instead of Mourinho? Rafa Benitez.
Yeah.
You know why? You could have tricked him into thinking he was coaching Real Madrid because they wear white.
Right.
Secondly, he was trying to coach Cristiano Ronaldo on taking free kicks.
Yep.
He obviously wants to be hands-on and work with players. And if Levy's not going to buy tried and true talent that cuts it at the absolute elite level, then they're going to need to be coached.
Yeah.
They're going to need to be coached. And the players that they had there are good enough to have improved, right, to be able to take that on if they had an open mentality. Again, he comes in as he's won the Champions League. He's won, these trophies. He won the Premier League with Chelsea, was it? When he finished up that half a season. So Rafa's won trophies. He's done things. He should be able to command the respect of a group of players that haven't won a goddamn thing.
Right.
But they went for Mourinho, who just caused a rift. You can't do my tactics. You get blah, 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 all this kind of stuff.
And bring in Nuno, who was probably over his head.
Too much of a project manager, right?
Yeah.
It was like Pochettino when he started.
Yeah.
Right? Not the Pochettino at PSG.
And then you bring in Conte, and it was just like, you went
from one fucking, I don't want to say that. You went from one taskmaster to another, but one that's a little bit younger and more intense.
Yeah.
At this stage in life.
Right.
Between the two of them. And in the middle had this, 5 years ago version of Pochettino. What are you doing? You're all over the place. And the two signings that Conte did make that he was able to bring in terms of Bentancur and Kulusevski absolutely improved them. But both of them are injury prone.
Right.
And we've seen that already. So how much can they really help? When they're there, they're 10 times better than when they're not.
Yeah, some of the questions
as a team.
Some of the questions have been like, was Richarlison a Conte signing or was that a Levy signing?
Correct, exactly, because it's a big name player that he got for less than $70 million.
Yeah. It seems
that's
like
a Levy signing. Yeah, because Richarlison in his career doesn't fit any tactic that Antonio Conte's ever used.
No, very true. Very, very true.
And who was the most publicly open, I fucking hate this guy, he's past it, da-da-da-da-da.
Richarlison.
Yeah. Now, we'll get back to Spurs in a second because I heard probably the best marriage in football that I've ever heard before being mentioned today, linked today, players talking about it and wanting it to happen.
Okay.
Brazil sacked their manager.
Okay.
King Carlo has been not offered, but is on the short list for the Brazil job. Ooh. And if you see his Italian ass in them Gucci sunglasses with a cigar hanging out his mouth, walking down a beach in Rio de Janeiro, waiting for the World Cup to start, I don't know that there is a more homoerotic thing that just makes me poke myself in the eye than that image in my head.
Carlo.
King Carlo leading Brazil out of the World Cup. I'm fucking in. Sign me up. Put it straight in my veins, preferably the one between my legs.
I would say it's the only trophy that man
needs. Yeah, he wins everything.
I mean, that's it. That's it.
I mean, the problem
that man wins that. I'm sorry, you like all the Manchester United apologists. You're no longer allowed to make the no.
The only issue is in international management. There's a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
Carlo likes himself a cigar.
Yes, he does.
Carlo likes himself a drink.
Yes.
We might not find Carlo by the time the World Cup comes around, especially if he's just hanging out in Rio.
Hanging out in Rio? All that ass. All that ass to look at.
All he need that eyebrow.
That's it.
You don't even need Tony Bennett to sing. You know what I mean? All he does is pick up a microphone, girls get naked.
Yep.
Carlo.
That eyebrow with a cigar in his mouth. Oh,
come on.
It's over.
It's done.
It's over.
Where's Carlo? In the favela.
So as we're talking about Tottenham and where they're kind of going to, here's the thing. We talk about it being a project. This team's no longer young. Son's coming towards the end of his prime.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it yet, and this is no place better than right now to talk about it. Next year, Kane's on his last year of his fucking deal.
Yeah.
He hasn't been offered a new deal yet. And I think
that's mainly because Charlie's an idiot. His brother, who's his agent. It's mainly because he's a doofus.
I would have to think we're reaching a point with him, with Harry specifically. Does he want to win a trophy, or does he want to surpass Alan Shearer and be the all-time Premier League goal scorer?
Yeah, I mean, he has...
Because if he wants a trophy...
He has to leave the country.
And he won't get that scoring title.
No, because he'll be past his prime when he comes back. This is 2 years at Real Madrid. This is a...
Let's say even if he stayed in the country. Let's say he stayed in the country and went to...
United?
A United, or God forbid, an Arsenal. It is his boyhood fucking club.
Yeah, you're right about it. He is one of our own.
But even then, those guys, those teams, he ain't getting 38 games.
No, because he doesn't fit.
He's not getting 38 games.
United, Weghorst is a placeholder, presumably for Harry Kane.
Yeah.
He will make that team better, but they need massive upgrades in defense if they're going to do anything. And I don't know that they'd be able to really even afford him with only a year left on his deal.
Right. So you wonder then if he's going to...
Especially with what we're going to talk about next in the example that's just been set.
Yeah, exactly. If he stays with Spurs, if he ends up staying with Spurs, then... okay, if you make a good cup run, maybe then he cares about a title, but that'll be it. That'll be what he focuses on.
Yeah, he'll be the John Stockton of the Premier League.
Yeah,
the Karl Malone of the Premier League.
All time, he'll get the all-time goals record, and they'll be without a trophy. And all of their young projects, the Skips of the world or Sessegnon, they're all hitting their prime, and a lot of them ain't fucking playing.
No, so if this Skip just came back. Skip can't find a manager that likes him.
Yeah, but
because he keeps coming in and out of the team. Like for 6 months, he's like the bee's knees, and then you won't hear from him for a year and a half. And somehow they keep offering him contracts.
Davies and Dyer are getting older, like this. So if this team is supposed to be a project, It's a project of 27 to 30-year-olds. That's not a project. That's a team in its fucking prime.
Well, remember they had the oldest back line in the league for a while with Vertonghen and Alderweireld.
Right. It's because they had no faith in Dyer or Davies at that point.
Correct. And Dyer's very quickly reaching the end of his rope, I think, in terms of his playing days. I mean, Tottenham's got a lot of issues, and Daniel Levy's got to make a decision. What is he going to do? Is he going to be proactive in his club? Is he going to try to move them forward? Is it going to be the same old fucking Tottenham?
And that's what
what I hope for. Yes.
Yeah, I know it's what you
were
hope for.
saying. Yes.
But they are reaching a shit or get off the pot moment.
Oh, yeah.
And if they don't get it together, they're going to find themselves in the place that Liverpool was before Klopp got there, and where United has been for a very long time.
And there's the issue. Daniel Levy's shopping for a wedding ring, but he's in the clearance section.
Right.
And the last two women that were around that were willing to accept the ring from the clearance section quickly figured out that he bought it from a clearance section.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Precisely.
And it just did not work out. It's just not a thing.
Final question. Who manages this team next year?
I don't fucking know, because Thomas Tuchel just got hired.
Yeah.
So really, if Julian Nagelsmann respects himself, he won't. But he seems to be the bookie's favorite at the moment. I don't necessarily see him as a project manager, though. So really, you're going to have to go for whoever's at Dortmund, whoever's at Brighton, or Thomas Frank at Brentford. Those are your project managers. Those are your good project managers, but also have some tactical acumen that also know what they're doing. You know, Dortmund's doing well in Germany, and they also took Chelsea. Was it Chelsea they played?
Yeah.
All the way to the end there in the Champions League. Ended up losing, but took them all the way to the end. You would have said Graham Potter probably would have been a good fit,
Right.
but Potter's obviously under contract at Chelsea. They seem to be sticking with him. So De Zerbi would be a shout. I don't know that he'd leave because this is bigger than the job he had before.
Yeah. Any chance at Pochettino, you think?
Poch coming back? No, because he was just linked with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, he was Espanyol's manager, which is another Catalonian club. And the only thing Barcelona and Espanyol can agree on is their hatred of Real Madrid being part of the crown. So that's a bit of a stretch for me. Pochettino going to Real Madrid, for instance, especially because the PSG just lost their first home game in 2.5 years or whatever it was.
Right.
So managing egos seems to be quite difficult for old Poch. So I don't know that Real Madrid would be the right place to land if that's not what you're good at.
Right.
You know?
That's the right gig for Carlo, but they can't be happy with him winning them a Champions League.
They can't be happy with anything in Madrid.
They're second in Spain, so, Carlo's got to go.
They can't, right, they can't. And they don't even...
Arguably the greatest manager of all time, and they're dissatisfied because they're in second.
But that's them booing Cristiano Ronaldo off when he still had something to offer, which started his whole spiral into this meme. You know what I mean? Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Their fan base is ridiculous. So that's fine. Please, if Carlo Ancelotti has any chance of hearing this, if anybody we know can get a clip, tweet him. Just clip this and tweet him. Please manage Brazil. I need that in my life. That would be the greatest thing that has ever happened in football, I think.
3 words, Carlo. Big Brazilian asses.
Mel's shaking her head.
Because she's already shaking her head going, that will not be the show title. That will not be the show title.
BBA? No good? She hates us.
The FA has charged Everton Football Club with violations of financial fair play.
Oh, wait a second. I just thought of something even better. And it has to do with financial fair play because of what at least one of them likes to do. A co-management job of the bald smoothie, Sven-Goran Eriksson, and Carlo in Brazil together.
Excellent.
That's bad.
All right, so we're going to try this again. The FA has charged Everton Football Club with violations of financial fair play, adding them to the list with City and rumors of Chelsea having a flat-out fire sale of players this summer to get their books right. So the Toffees have been charged. This is what's kind of funny. So we remember the year of the number 10, right? And we remember the Everton Mashiri had spent $500 million before the last 2 seasons, right? And all of that. What is the year that they're being charged with? Last year.
How did the
2021-22
I'd like to know how
season.
the investigation happened so quickly. Number one,
it seems
because
interesting.
City's violations that they were charged with ended in like 2018.
So apparently they had been looking into Everton all of last season, and Everton was aware of it, and they were kind of following them along.
Maybe that's who put that board member in a headlock.
Yeah, exactly.
The FFP people,
Exactly.
accountant.
You will get your books right. The imaginary headlock, because there's still zero evidence that it fucking happened.
Glaring omission from the list of people you mentioned. Nottingham fucking Forest, who didn't have a shirt sponsor for 6 months. There's $20 million down the drain.
It just what
It's
it comes
such a farce.
So what it comes down to is it's the amount of money that you bring in versus the amount of money you spend, and the threshold is $105 million, right? You can't go over that. Now, Everton obviously has been slowly but surely, since Carlo, kind of working stuff off the books, right? And there were some. Remember, it's not always about transfer fees; it's about what you pay them. So, like somebody like Gylfi Sigurdsson
For
was
wages,
on $150,000 a week, which was just which is common for a Big Six club. That's kind of a starter's, like a normal starter's pay,
Salary, yeah.
But for
Well, he was the best player for the club for a long time. I mean, there's no secret.
Everton, that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is his last contract extension, there's no surprise that he was put on those wages to keep him because he was good until the other thing happened.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a problem.
Now, here's the problem. Within the press, this is what happens. The FA puts out a statement that they're charging Everton. Everton puts out a statement that says, we have an independent committee. We are working directly with the Premier League. We know that this will get resolved. And then that is all is said. Everything else is left to speculation.
Yep.
So
And everybody just starts running their mouth.
Been talking with our good friend and part of the American Toffee Pod, Ryan Williams, off because he's a numbers guy and he gets what's going on. So a lot of the dumb things you've already seen on Everton Twitter is like, well, they said he spent $500 million. Well, here's all the people we sold in return. It's exactly $500 million. Why are they coming after us? It's not over the five. It's a 1 season thing.
It's a fiscal year, yeah.
And it could be something as simple as when we sold Richarlison, because remember, we sold him right at the fucking deadline to get our books straight. What if we didn't do the paperwork right? We're in violation.
Which Mashori, it wouldn't really put it past him, would you?
Right. What if Dele Alli, who we did not have to pay for until he's played 20 games for us, which he still hasn't, so we don't have to pay that money to Tottenham. He was with a Big Six club. What if he was on $250,000 wages and that's what we were fucking paying? Like, what if that was the case?
Or at least a large portion of it.
And we go, okay, well, at the
Which is
start,
also
at the start
commonplace.
of that season, we signed Andres Towson on a free, Begovic on a free, Rondon on a free, and Damari Gray for $2 million.
Which you also have to worry about their wages.
Right. Those, not including Damari Gray, but those other 3 are veteran guys. You don't think they're not getting paid well? Like Begovic, probably not great because he's a backup, but still getting paid. Probably still making like $75,000 instead of it being.
He was a backup at Chelsea for a season,
right?
remember?
Instead of it being some kid that you pay $20,000 a week to, right? So that's a huge fucking difference. Then there was the sale of Digne, but with that sale of Digne, we ended up spending more money that transfer window between the signings of Myelenko and Patterson was more than the money we got for Luca Digne. So you don't know exactly what it is, and honestly, you have to wait till the auditors figure it all out. Here's my bigger concern. Like you said, how the fuck do you come up with that? Like, it was last season. How do you already have, unless you've been looking at this club specifically wanting to target this club.
Well, you know what I would find interesting? I want to know if there is a general, like, football club standard practice end of fiscal. Because I don't know if that's the case. It's like for instance, in our jobs, and you've been on my side of the business as well. Brown Foreman's end of fiscal is March 31st. Deutsch's is March 31st, but William Grant's is December 31st. The end of Tito's fiscal year is December 31st. Is like Everton's end of fiscal May 31st?
I think everybody's May is the end of it. It's June 30th.
It would make sense because you'd want the fiscal year to end so you could spend money in the summer.
Right.
That would make sense. But some people do some weird shit, like Diageo's end of fiscal is May 31st. June 1st starts a new fiscal.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, June 30th is their end of fiscal.
Yeah,
July 1st starts a new fiscal. So, I wonder if there's some sort of weird shit that we don't know about, or like when the first payment gets made or whatever. Because if you haven't gotten any money, can you claim that on your books? Because the deal's agreed? Like, I don't know how that part of it works, so it's hard to speculate that bit of it. But at the same time, again, as you say, the stadium started being built.
Right.
Does that factor in?
No, that does not.
It does not factor in.
No.
So where's the losses coming from then? I mean, you stayed in the Premier League. You got another $190 million or whatever it is from the TV rights this season coming in. So what's the problem?
What people have speculated at is the stadium that we're currently in, and the reason why we are building Bramley Moore so quickly is the stadium that we are in costs us a great deal of money being in it. We're not pulling in enough revenue by being in that stadium for the size of a club that we are. For the money we spend, that
on
stadium
people,
doesn't bring in what we need.
I mean, honestly, that would make sense, but it makes sense to an extent. How they got these numbers so quickly and were able to, determine that, oh, yep, they're in violation. I mean, it has to be blatantly obvious. The City and the Chelsea, like, I kind of understand a little bit.
Well, Chelsea isn't even being alleged yet.
Yeah.
They've just realized, oh, fuck, we got to go selling.
I mean, but they reported everything on theirs. I didn't see a single undisclosed fee in there. They reported every single fee that was paid. So it shouldn't be very hard to figure that out. I wonder if taking over a new company starts over, resets, or does something different. With Bowley buying the club, for pennies on the dollar, from pennies on the dollar being relative as well.
Real quick, we'll get back to Everton because I do have some conspiracy theories and thoughts and all that kind of craziness that goes. We're not going to have to start playing the music. And
I just, like you said, it doesn't seem like everybody's been playing on the same playing field
with
here.
Chelsea, names that have already been floated around to be getting sold. It's the
Mudryk.
young talent.
Please say Mudryk.
No, it's the young. It's Gallagher, it's Mount, and it's Pulisic are the three main names they're talking about selling.
Yeah.
And here's the sad part: is whoever buys them going to get them on deal.
Cheaper than they would, for sure.
Deal.
Yeah.
We're talking. I don't think a single one of these guys go for more than $40 million. I think they all go cheap. I think they all
Christian
go
being
cheap.
American, definitely.
Yeah.
Mason Mount will have the British fee attached to him, so he might be 45, maybe 50, depends on his contract length.
Yeah.
And then, I could see him at West Ham, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then, his mate Declan, if Declan doesn't move on.
Or if they make a move for Declan, but I don't think they will now that they got Enzo. But,
Well, Mason Mount's also a like-for-like replacement for McTominay. He's not. He's not. I just wanted to say it.
But that's all I want to say about Chelsea. It's just that those are some of the names being thrown
It's
around, which is funny.
The whole thing's just strange, man. That they're looking into all this stuff, and it was such a quick turnaround. I mean, I guess the scale of cities, and with the state owning a club, essentially, right? The Qatari state owning a club, or the United Arab Emirates, or whichever one they fall under.
The Qataris are about to try to buy United, is what's going on as well.
If they're doing all this kind of stuff, I wonder how many, because they also own Emirates Airways or Etihad Airways or whoever. All those deals, I wonder if they're all so complicated because they're all owned by the same people. This is like the the owner that sells himself the stadium to inject club into the cash into the club.
That's a lot of what.
So it's just
cities,
more.
That's
like,
a lot of what cities being charged with is essentially making shell accounts to pay themselves to show that they were making more money than they actually were.
Yeah. So I bet you that in terms of City versus Everton, on this alone, I bet you City's is just a more complicated case.
Right.
So it took longer to gather evidence.
Right. Everton's is they fucked up the books. And
well, because also Mashiri's kind of got the reputation now of being a bit of a dunce.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and also he doesn't have, he plays like he has money. His daddy Usmanov is who has the money, and Usmanov no allowed to spend money in England right now because he's an oligarch.
And there's the other issue, because he's one of the people.
So here's kind of the bigger thing I wanted to get to with when you were talking about City is you also have to wonder, is the FA afraid of Newcastle because it's legitimately Saudi Arabia who owns the team? Will they be afraid of Manchester United because it's literally Qatar who owns the team? Are they afraid of City because it's United Arab Emirates that owns the fucking team, and that there are so many other factions and that they won't dare do anything too drastic to them other than make them pay money because they know that it has other commercial and financial repercussions if they do. But little old Everton, one of those classic clubs, we got to save them from themselves, man. We got to make sure we save the sanctity of the league.
That's the rule. Yeah.
We're deducting them 10 points and relegating them because it's what we need to do to save them.
Yeah, because they won't deduct them points. They can't. At this stage, they can't. They've lost all credibility in that argument.
If they do anything, it's not going to happen till next year, anyways. But you're right. If they do deduct points, it's like, so you don't deduct points for teams
from Chelsea before,
or these 6 teams who tried to start another fucking league without you. Like,
well,
I mean, no offense to your club, you were one of those fucking 6.
But at that point, those 6 clubs are the ones that do pay the bills.
Right, but still, they tried to start a league without you.
But that's what I'm saying. They can't. I didn't agree with it. I didn't agree with it.
If you can't deduct them points, you can't deduct anybody points.
Correct. I don't disagree with that at all.
What this screams of for me is I want to compare it to, this is before your time, but you obviously know the player, the tragic death of Lenny Bias at the University of Maryland.
Yep. I was trying to teach Tegan about him the other day, actually. We watched 4 YouTube videos of him.
Lenny passed away from a cocaine overdose. Everybody tried to hide it, that it was, a one-time thing. Nope. Lenny was into coke. It was the 80s, and he was into coke, and he died. And then Lefty left in shame after he built up that program. Mm-hmm. And then they bring in the next coach, Foster, I think. Bob Wade. Bob Wade. A booster gave a kid a pair of basketball shoes. They found Maryland in violation, the NCAAs. Now, mind you, in recent history, there has been proven cases of coaches getting test answers, boosters providing prostitutes to recruits, and even at Miami, the University of Miami, boosters flat out handing cash to players, okay? This has happened. What happened to Maryland back then? A 4-year blackout. Not allowed to be on radio or TV. They weren't allowed to play in the postseason. And if it wasn't for the fact that Gary Williams took over that team and Walt Williams, the Wizard, stayed all 4 years, that program would have completely fallen apart. But it was over a pair of fucking tennis shoes. It was really because Lenny died. They couldn't bust him on Lenny dying. So they wanted to fucking throw the book at him. They really wanted to throw the fucking book at him. They did over a fucking pair of tennis shoes. Everton is the pair of fucking tennis shoes. And I could just see the FA going, you know what? All these foreign countries are using us like playthings and little chessboards and buying whatever players they want and do whatever the fuck they want. And it doesn't matter how much money they lose because they're boosting money into our league and they're, as you just said, making money for us.
Uh-huh.
So they will be perfectly fine. But little old Everton barely fucks up their books. And you know what? They probably did. And they probably deserve to be punished. But they will receive the punishment for all the real sinners because they're going to be the example. And that's what fucking sucks.
Oh, look at Rangers. Look at Portsmouth. Look at Bury, who's not even in business.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't even liquidate enough to form a new club. They're just gone.
Yeah.
That's what happens. It's a shame, but it's a evil of our society that money talks.
Yeah. It's horrific. And it's going to be hard. The Premier League is sitting, the FA is sitting in a situation where it can do the right thing and judge everybody the same and judge them on the merits of what they've done wrong. And if Everton's done something truly wrong and deserves to be punished, I will stand at the front of the line and say they deserve to be punished.
Do you want a sound check reference right now to make you feel shittier about your situation?
Sure.
One of the daddies of Everton is a Russian oligarch person, is tied in with them at the minimum, because I think he's Uzbeki, but he's tied in with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
You're allowed to do with your cock as you will on your property, but the second you invaded Ukraine, you opened your books up to all the shit.
Sure money.
No good?
No, it was a good finish. I was going to finish on my whole tirade about University of Maryland, but, you added something, and then you gave me a good finisher, so you get to finish the fucking segment.
I
Good
just
job.
love how well the soundbite played into the conversation.
If you want to know what we were talking about, patreon.com/DFootball show. Tune in to Soundcheck. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Sam, all I know is in Puerto Rico, you are not allowed to choke your cock in the parking lot.
You must be on your own property. Not even the sidewalk. You have to be on your own property.
What you do with your own cock in your own property is your own business. I'm going to have to get you the screwdriver to tighten that up.
For fuck's sake.
That fucking
Yeah, we
microphone.
got to do that. I know, it's annoying the piss out of me. I got to find. All right, so we already told you how much we're down. We did that last time. We're going to just give you what we are doing this week as the Premier League, thank fuck, comes back this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sammy, what you got for us?
Hold on, you weren't thrilled by USA beating Grenada 7-1? That wasn't exciting to you?
No.
It's not the new Young Hot Freshness?
Young Hot Freshness.
Yeah.
That's a contender, Mel. Write that down. What?
Well,
That's not the new Young Hot Freshness.
I already got my bit fucking written. We already know I hit because I actually hit bets and Graham doesn't. And I'm down $1,472.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
If you can take a second to stop laughing hysterically.
I can't because of all the memes those cunts made of me when Hiram was here. Or when Hiram was here, sorry.
Yeah.
And all the memes they made of me being the old, hello kids with the skateboard over my back. And then you just said Young Hot Freshness made me feel like 15 again. And I'm here for it.
Very good. Graham, if you don't remember, 18.3% of the time. It works 100% of the time. And I told you, I'm going back to a bit. Give me Liverpool to beat City at plus 470. Either I win money or Liverpool doesn't win. Both please me. I'm happy.
All right, there you go. Easy days.
If I lose, it means all Liverpool did was maybe get a point.
Right.
I can live in that world.
All right.
I can live in that world.
There you go. All right. I've got an email from old Pat because it's late.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
All right, and Pat writes in, so, welcome back after the holidays. Hope everyone's NCAA brackets are going well and your online betting accounts are full. This week, I'm going to go a bit outside the box of how I usually make bets. I'm going to take a same-game parlay that's offered on DraftKings and then parlay that with another game. So the same-game parlay bet is Liverpool and Man City. Liverpool money line, both teams scoring, Salah anytime goal scorer, and Liverpool over 2.5 goals. And then to top that off, I'll throw in the Wolves over the Forest for a total payout of $5,250 on a $100 bet. And I can say I feel feel very not confident in this bet.
Oh, feel not very confident.
Feel very not confident.
In the English language.
Very hard sentence to read. But screw it. Let's have some fun Saturday morning. Talk to you guys next week.
That's the early
It's
game,
only
too.
money.
7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Game. You could get up early to lose.
Yeah, but at least the rest of his weekend will be easy.
Excellent.
Don't have to pay attention to nothing.
So what are you going to do there, Stud?
So what I've got going on here is with Mitro's very fun red card he received
Yes.
for striking the match official in his last time out. I have a draw between Bournemouth and Fulham because it's at Bournemouth. They've been very organized lately. Fulham defensively are decent, but they don't have that point man.
Yeah, that's a fair shout. That's a fair shout.
I like that. So a draw at Bournemouth. I parlay that with Arsenal to beat Leeds and Leicester to beat Palace because I don't think Roy the boy, the old owl, is going to have too much of a influence.
No new manager bump for the old manager.
No.
She was giggling at that one.
Yeah, she was. This match is not a field mouse. He will not swoop in and win it. I think it's going to be Leicester to beat Palace. I know some farmhouse references, Cowboy Mel. I think it's
Homesteader Mel.
That's right, it is Homesteader
Be
Mel. You're right.
correct.
Mel left Annapolis to travel west.
Young hot freshness over there.
Ended up in Crownsville. I feel like Mel got in her wagon in downtown Annapolis in 1787 and went, I'm heading west to find a homestead. Got to Crownsville and was like, we're good.
Very good.
And then Leicester to beat Palace, like I said. The draw is what really did it up. Plus 1167.
I heard the first game and I was thinking, okay, so
$100.
that's a sensible bet. Oh wait, Sam's got more, and then you didn't disappoint. Of course you did.
No, it's not bad. What do you think? You think Leicester's gonna not beat Palace?
I think Palace is going to win.
Care to put a side wager on it?
Dinner with Jan.
No, never mind.
Okay, I got you.
JK, I like you, Jan.
Leicester beats Palace. I do a shot of my lord.
Yeah.
If Palace beat Leicester, you do a shot of my lord.
Yeah.
If they draw, we both do a shot of my lord.
That's fine.
There
Put
we
it
go.
all on the line.
Yeah,
I'm
there
in.
we go.
Yeah.
We got to be by
That's
the
fine.
We don't get a push if there's a draw.
There's no push.
Which
we both
means-
lose. Yeah, I'm in.
Which means there is the potential, not that I think you guys are going to lose the Leeds, but we do have Tottenham at home. That,
two shots of
I
Malort.
could have 2 shots of Malort next week. Absolutely.
I was gonna do that Monday game, but I'm a little nervous of leaving the bet late.
Yeah.
That makes me, for whatever reason, I don't like betting that Monday game.
We'll talk about it in injury time. I think that game's got draw written all over it because it's at Goodison. If that was at Spurs, 7-0 Spurs. They would have a fucking field.
I don't disagree, but losing Conte and the way that they responded to that when he went out with the surgery,
True.
It made me very nervous.
Only thing that makes me nervous about that is that
you
thing
know what?
specifically.
Real money on my actual betting apps, I may put something in on that to do, like, not pick a winner, but do, like, Harry Kane to score.
But that's a safe bet. He always scores on Everton.
But then do, like, Damari Gray to have one shot on target. And
Right.
like that kind of stuff, and do, like, parlay some props.
Right.
And I think that might actually win some money. I might do that.
You don't disagree.
Yeah.
You know?
So you guys done?
It's all well and good. But you know what we have? A fucking chicken.
Well, Kitty hit with Arsenal and sits at 13/14. So I finally got to go up to the coop and visit with Kitty, who seems to be doing okay despite Rita's reclaiming of the roost. A little bit of drama on that front.
there was. Talked about that on
so
Soundcheck.
this week, I gave her Brighton welcoming Brentford. Now, despite being a fan of the Bees' arrival to our backyard, she quickly chirped,
That sounds like I'm a seagull. Go fuck yourself. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
So it would appear that Kitty is going with Brighton for the win on Saturday.
I thought it sounded a little Blink-182-ish.
I would say great improvise, considering that her writer actually messed up the first word of that whole quote there. So good job.
Yes.
In my way downtown, walking fast. I'm a seagull. Go fuck yourself.
I always do a good job. You know why?
Why?
Because I remember to gamble legally and responsibly.
Championship corner.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Oh no!
Sam, it's a solar eclipse, and I accidentally looked at the ESPN Plus app and blinded myself because there was no championship games this weekend.
Wow, how about that? It was the international break. No games.
It's a
Segment done.
It's a rarity in the old championship where you have a weekend off, and this was one of them.
All right. Well, then, beautiful. That's going to wrap it up. Mr. Graham.
I did him at the front.
Yeah, I would say no parting words.
I did him at the front. Fuck Rodri. Just reiterate. Hashtag fuck Rodri. Get it going.
I love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, next up is Injury Time, where we're going to talk about the beers we were drinking. We're going to check in on one adopted club who did play twice. Not very well.
One adopted club didn't get the fucking memo. Yeah.
Well, they're League
Guess
One.
why? 'Cause they
still
do heroin.
play.
Oh, Aki.
No.
Sorry. I thought it was Ibs.
Ibs were
I thought
off.
they just showed up and
Just
played
they
a
were shooting
U12
that
team
sweet
at the park.
Aaron.
I thought
They were partying with that lady. That's what's up.
That's brilliant.
And we're going to talk about the beers we were drinking, which are some fun beers, and a little something Mr. Geckel turned us on to that we're going to be drinking in Injury Time, too. That's pretty exciting. No checking in on our fantasy teams because we didn't do fuck all. But like I said, preview the games. We're previewing the games, for fuck's
Yes,
sake.
we are previewing the
How do we
game.
go about doing that, Mr. Graham?
Patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just sign up to that one beautiful big $5 tier. And it's very simple to get all of our extra content, and you will not be disappointed. It is Soundcheck, our actual Soundcheck. The first thing that was said when the mics were turned on was, I need more juice in my headphones. That was today's episode.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing that was said was about something that you should just check out there because we'll probably get banned on YouTube for it.
Very good.
Because it's just us catching up and talking shit, so it's a lot of fun. Yeah. So enjoy it.
Mel, unmute yourself.
Yes.
We fucking did it. We fucking did it.
I know. You have 2 minutes to fuck
Till
it up.
next week, everybody.
Oh, wait, we have 2 minutes?
Till next week, everybody.
Wait, what can I say? Let's see.
Goodbye. Good fucking bye is what you can say. We made a show under an hour for fucking once.
Adi fucking os, motherfuckers. I love fucking